is Joan Dameron Crisler. She is a retired Chicago public school educator and administrator. Joan dedicated 33 years to the Chicago public schools as a school-based educator. Her experience includes that of classroom teacher, assistant principal, and 20 years as the principal of the highly acclaimed Arthur Dixon Elementary School. Dixon Elementary served as the springboard and incubator for my passion as an art collector. I actually started collecting to show support for the fantastic effort and achievement demonstrated by my students through the school's visual arts program. Those masterpieces would be offered at auctions annually. My history as an avid, some would say rabid, art collector began with the students as my inspiration. The school itself is home to a unique and well-documented collection of original works by contemporary African and American artists. The collection is showcased in the recently released award-winning documentary, The Curators of Dixon School. So over the course of the many years that I was collecting fine art for my personal edification, I also had the unique opportunity to immerse, educate, motivate, and inspire thousands of children, their families, and even the staff, utilizing fine art as a vehicle.
There was very little evidence of African American culture at the school back in the mid-'80s, early '90s. And so that was primarily to give the students a sense of identity and to be able to do that not only through some of the curricular things we were doing, but also through the visual arts and music. I tell people that it started out quite unintentionally. We started actually with the students' artwork. Had a phenomenal art teacher who was a professional artist in her own right, and quite excellent. And so she was able to really bring out Annette Malika Jackson. She was able to really bring out talent in the students, artistic talent in the students. And so we began displaying the student artwork.
When I first went to Dixon, I had traveled all throughout the area in Chatham to become an art teacher because they were putting art back into the system. So when I went to Dixon, Joan hired me on the spot because she'd been looking for an art teacher. And for some reason, the people were starting to leave because she was a new principal. But some told me, just stay, just hang in there. So I've grown to love her. She's more than a boss to me. She's my friend. And I know she's passionate. She's passionate about what she does with those children.
I convinced her to bring some of her artwork, and we have a school bank. And so we purchased several pieces for the school bank. And part of the intention with that was for the children then to see their artwork hanging next to the artwork of a professional artist, and hoping that that would in some ways motivate them as well and make them really feel really good and proud about what they had achieved. And of course, to aspire, if they had that as a goal of being a professional artist, to aspire to know that, yes, I too can, if I work hard enough and I perfect my craft, I can be hanging in a museum or a gallery.
I think part of her legacy, clearly, her vision for giving hope to young people, without a doubt. She was so passionate about everything that we did at Dixon School. She knew and had high expectations and standards for young people as well as those that served with her. And when we got involved in this whole art and cultural scene, I'm going to call it, Joan just almost became a butterfly.
A work of art to her has to speak about who we are as a people. It has to have ties to our culture in America the last 400 years and what we've gone through, both politically and culturally speaking.
There was a show that she purchased a piece of my work, and I was very honored because I had heard about the collection at Dixon, had not at that point seen it. And I know that piece in particular was going into the Dixon show. And I thought it was awesome, the fact that here was this woman who was purchasing work to go in a collection at a school.
When Joan started talking about Dixon Elementary School, I was riveted of just how she was speaking about the power of art to socialize children. And I had a personal relationship with Dixon Elementary School because I had gone there many, many years ago. And I'm thinking, Dixon? Art? I don't remember any art at Dixon Elementary School. So I was listening to her and very intent, and I had made up my mind too that I'm going to go back over to this school and I'm going to see it, because with what she described of the art that was in the school and its effect on children and how it was important for us as a community to get art and to the children, immerse them in it, and to socialize them with it. It was like, wow, this is what I believe.
I think what I'm most proud of is how the students respected it and learned from it. We have never had a piece of artwork destroyed. Our students know how to navigate that environment. They don't touch anything. They admire it. They move through. At one point, at its maximum, over 700 students would move through that building during the course of the day, and never anything was ever out of place. We've never had anything vandalized, never had anything stolen. The children function in that environment as if they would go to the Art Institute or to the DuSable Museum of African American History. So that's what I'm most proud of, that the children accepted the art, embraced the art, and actually lived with the art.
Joan worked so hard for Dixon School. When I first started working at Dixon, there were paintings on the wall that were from the Art Institute, but they were paintings of the other culture. And at our school, there were children of color. And Joan wanted her children to be exposed to the art of the diaspora.
She realized that everything about exposing young people to who they were, what they looked like, and giving them a vision for the greatness that we reflected, if we could provide them with that, it almost became like a sense of urgency for her, a mission that, I guess for sure, having a team of people that were all on the same page, that believed in the work that we were doing. We saw the significance in the arts. And it wasn't just the visual arts, but for us, the visual arts just really compelled us, because for all of us, we began to just fall in love with art.
Joan promoted African American art and encouraged young artists to pursue their artistic dreams by providing a venue in which to display their art at Dixon School. By purest definition, my art collection is a window into my intellect, my heart, my spirit. It tells in a very colorful, electric, passionate, and poignant way the story of what I have loved and valued most throughout my life: the people, the relationships, the interests, the experiences that have played a major role in helping me to grow into the person that I am today. As a collector, I have never purchased a painting or a sculpture based upon the artist's pedigree or what I thought the assessed valuation of the artwork would be in a decade. Therefore, artists like Elizabeth Catlett, Charles Bibbs, Frank Frazier, Joseph Holston, Annie Lee, Sylvester Britton, John Jones, Otto Niels, Varnett Honeywood, Barry Horton, Leroy Campbell, among many others, only exist in my collection because of how a specific creation touched my consciousness or my spirit at the time of its acquisition. My method may be a bit non-traditional, but my art has been a blessing to me and to many others who have experienced it, and I hope that it will continue to be so for many, many years to come.
The first thing that comes to my mind, seriously, is the heart. And, you think of our heart the way it beats in the rhythm. You feel that as you move through the school, and in her home you feel it as well. It's that heartbeat. It's that connection to others. And it's something that is a theme that's throughout the school, in the artwork that you see on the wall, in the sculptures, and in the care that's gone into the selection and how it's been put together. And it's as if the heart is reaching out to beat in one with the students as well as with the teachers and the parents. It's something that feels very alive and living.
It was artwork for the first floor, second floor, and third floor. They told a story. It's just like she was talking to you about her artwork here. The family came first on the first floor because that's where the babies are. So we went to collect it. She just has an eye for the things that she wants her children to see because they should be surrounded by beautiful things.
I went through elementary, high school, and then ended up teaching in the public school system. You see the low value that is placed upon the arts and the artist. And like I said, and that's a trickle-down effect in terms of the kids. They don't think it's of value. So when I meet Joan Crisler, and she has started a collection of artwork in her school building, I'm just flabbergasted because, it was unheard of for me. It's for someone who spent their life in the public school system, this was unheard of. I'd never seen the kind of value placed on it.
One of the unintended consequences is that I have come to welcome into my circle so many wonderful people that I have met through the arts. Just good people with good spirits and good souls. The kinds of people that I would want in my circle to be able to tell my story or to become a part of my story. And I think that's one of the best unintended consequences. I think for majority of the art that I have in my personal collection, there is a story that is connected to the artist. There's a conversation that we had, or there was a time in their life where something might have been going on and I was able to acquire a piece of art from them. So I think that is the most valuable unintended consequence. You never think in the course of making a commercial transaction that out of that will come a wonderful relationship. And that is what has happened in many instances with Malika, with Dio, with Stacy Brown, with many of the artists, both local and those who come to us from out of state.
What she's done for me is that she has a way of seeing works that even the artist might not know is a strong work. So when we all arrived, like this evening, works that she's purchased, say, 1996, 95, 97, that I've not seen since. Now, seeing them hanging next to a colleague's work makes me look at my work. I'm not sure if you noticed me. I spend time looking at my own work as if I've not seen them before. It's not because I appreciate them crazily that I'm so obsessed. But the works look different in our home because they are telling a story. Now, my job as an artist, telling a story, stops when a collector picks the work up. And a collector like her, who's not using it for decorative purposes, she's continuing her own story through my work and through our work. So what she's done is to make me appreciate my work better.
If the building had been as culturally rich as I see it today, I know I would have been an artist.
The children got to the place where their eyes became trained. And while walking down the hall, you would hear them saying, "Oh, that's Adayo. That's Fahim. That's Dalton." Dixon was really, and it still is, a very unique and wonderful school.
She's very honest about that, and I love that about her. She doesn't buy things or do things because she's my friend, and you want that kind of person around you.
I was really touched by the fact that it was not just learning by rote, but again, learning by the heart and feeling that love. That's something that she really brought into the school in a very strong way.
The only time you really learn to have a value for something, for the most part, is when you're taught to value it. And she has helped them to have a value for the arts. And I was so proud to be able to be in that collection, to have artists to be, students to be able to recognize my work as an artist. And perhaps one day say, "Oh, I can recognize Felicia Grant Preston's work," because that's her style.
The art truly has to symbolize some meaning to her, and it has to be something that she truly wants to live with. And she typically, I'm in awe because just like in her home, in Dixon School, she can methodically tell you why she purchased every piece of art that she ever bought for those children.
I would say that the art is emblematic of my tenacity to ensure that African American children in the inner city of Chicago can aspire to greatness. They can see who they are, and they can see their futures. They can see the possibilities through the art. And they can see how they, even with limited talent, if they work hard, if they're committed, if they have a vision, if they are given the right support, encouragement, and resources, that they can create masterpieces. Not only technical, theoretical, but realistically in terms of their lives. Their lives can become masterpieces if they can develop those kinds of values and traits as human beings. And I feel that we've done a lot of that through the arts.
Like Elaine Leroy Locke, Joan Dameron Crisler uses art as an effective tool to educate African American children and adults in their discovery of who they are, what they are, and why they are. Joan Dameron Crisler is someone you should know.